Hello, I welcome you to a discussion named as Healthcare Decision and Healing Practices. I have divided my lecture primarily into 5 sections. I will be describing about the various healing practices in different religions. Firstly, Hinduism, secondly, Islam, thirdly, Buddhism, fourthly, Christianity, and fifthly, Jainism, which will be followed by a concluding section. Religion symbolizes the association of man with the divine. The sole objective of religion is to make its followers have the realization of truth. If one looks back around 5,000 years, then he or she would find that Hinduism is the oldest religion out of all. Though the majority of the Hindu population dwells in India, but one can witness its aura across the globe. Hinduism denotes a way of life as well as a way of thinking. Bulk of religio-philosophical literature can be found under the domain of Hinduism, such as the Vedas, Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. The basic concepts under Hinduism are as Atma, that is eternal principle which sentiates all life and brings it to our perception. Moksha, the release or liberation which is the ultimate aim or goal of life of all human beings. Dharma, religion, law, duty or righteousness. Karma, all the actions of the individuals follow with certain consequences, ultimately shaping one's destiny. And Maya, the life which is in the ignorance of the Sanatana Dharma, that is, the eternal truth. Therefore, a pious Hindu is supportive of all efforts that lead to a wholesome and virtuous life, and would consider it absurd to deter a sincere devotee from his preferred faith. The origin of the Hindu practices and traditions are tracked down to the Indus Valley civilization. The Indo-Aryans were migratory in nature. Therefore, the compilation of their writings, known to be the Vedas, provides people with the information about the origin of the traditional Hindu culture. The earliest Vedic text is known to be the Rig Veda, which is assumed to be compiled during 1200 BCE. Healthcare decisions and healing practices is one of the most common issues in all religions of the world. People around the world come under the religious shelter as their prime wish is to be healthy. It is important to focus on the different religions and the kind of healing practices that they involve their followers with. It is by this way that people will be able to have their grasp on various healing practices prevalent in the society. The Hindu tradition is one of the oldest living religious traditions of the world. According to the reports of National Conference for Community and Justice, Hinduism is the third largest religion with huge number of followers around the world. Healthcare providers need to have an understanding and appreciation for the beliefs and religious preferences of their Hindu patients in order to provide optimal care for them. Hinduism teaches that there is one ultimate reality behind the universe, Brahman. This reality is manifested in the universe as various gods and goddesses who are worshipped as forms of Brahman. Vedanta is one of the 6 major philosophies of Hinduism. Vedanta teaches that man's real nature is divine and that the aim of human life is to realize divinity through selfless work, devotion to God, control of the inner forces, and discrimination between the real and the unreal. It recognizes that truth is one and accepts all religion, properly understood as a valid means of realizing the truth. Religion is a way of life rather than a set of dogmas, and Vedanta places great importance on actually experiencing the truth for ourselves. Through spiritual practice, Hindus try to establish contact with the divine reality and then manifest that divinity in all their actions. Vedanta teaches four broad paths that appeal to the different aspects of one's personality. Intellect. Through study, deep thought, and analysis of one's own nature, one tries to discover what they really are. Heart. Through love and surrender to God, one attempts to become united with Him. Mind. Through concentration and meditation, one attempts to bring one's mind under control and discover the truth which is beyond the mind. Will. Through unselfish work, one attempts to expand the heart to include all beings. According to one's nature, an individual will use one or more of these paths to go beyond the ego and experience the highest spiritual truth. Hindus believe that body is a vehicle for the soul, through which it can experience the world and progress in its journey to God. When the body has served its purpose, it is discarded and the soul takes on another body until it finds union with God. Although Hindus believe in preserving the body until its natural end, they recognize that death is part of life and that the true self is immortal and does not die when the body dies. The first great Hindu physician, known Charaka, practiced about 1000 BC, Sushruta, in the 5th century AD, noted the relationship of malaria to mosquitoes and of plague to rats, knew of more than 700 medicinal plants, and described more than 100 surgical instruments. He treated fractures, removed tumors and kidney stones, and delivered babies by caesarean section. The tulsi is considered to have huge medicinal value, and it's prescribed by the followers of Ayurveda so that they can be healed from cough and cold. The leaves of the neem tree are considered to have important medicinal value and are provided to the person suffering generally from chicken pox. The medicinal providers can be classified into two heads, Boidya Kobiraj and Jodi Butiala. Boidya and Kobiraj are Ayurvedic physicians who use elixirs, metal preparations and herbs to treat infirmity, while the Jodi Butiwalas use only herbs to treat illness. There are different points which are expected to be maintained by the Hindu patients related to health care decisions, which are the following. Hindu patients are culturally concerned about modesty. Genital and urinary issues are not discussed with the spouse of the patient. Hinduism promotes vegetarianism in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Fasting is considered to be an important part of life among all Hindus. Fasting has positive implications in the medical or dietary care plan. A patient maintains a strong desire to wash his hand after meals in order to maintain the hygiene. The Hindus use the right hand in order to carry out the clean task, for example, eating, and their left hand for unclean task, for example, toileting. Patients carry on wearing jewelry which is believed to possess strong cultural and religious meaning in order to bring about faster healing of the patients. Hindu women must wear a sacred thread, ring or gold chain around their necks, and Hindu men and boys may wear a sacred thread across the chest. All Hare Krishna followers and some other Hindus may wear sacred tulsi beads around the neck. Majority of the Hindus hold strong astrological beliefs. They may believe that the movement of the planets has a strong influence on health and well-being. Hindus may use a variety of Ayurvedic medicines, home remedies, and spiritual remedies. Ayurveda is a holistic system of medicine practiced by many Hindus around the world. A family member may also wish to write the Om symbol on the patient's tongue with jaggery dipped in ghee or honey. The Hindus suffer their pain by thinking that it is their karma for which they are suffering from the pathology. Many patients perform yoga in order to bring about quick healing. Yoga is considered to be the part of healing, spirituality, and meditation. It is the philosophy of the ancient and is considered as a practice of well-being of the individuals. Hindus generally seek for death at home and not in the hospitals. The family of the patient seeks a strong desire to conduct pre-death rituals, for example giving Ganga water, considered as holy, to the dying patient so that he can have a better afterlife. Therefore, various ways of spiritual healing is followed by the Hindus, not only traditionally but also in the present generation. The word Islam implies the meaning peace and a submission to the will of Allah. People who follow the Islam religion are known as Muslims. The second biggest and one of the most popular religions in the world is Islam. Nearly 1/5 of the world's population belongs to the Islam religion. Along with Judaism and Christianity, it is considered to be one of the Abrahamic monotheistic faiths. The Muslim populations are found all over the world in every color and race. They consider Allah to be their almighty God. Allah is considered to be the creator, the sustainer, the forgiver, and the compassionate. The Muslims are of the belief that since Allah is the creator and the initiator of all things in nature, therefore, He alone deserves their devout love and reverence. The main Muslim denominations are Shia, Sunni, Sufism, and Wahhabism. The word Islam comes from an Arabic root word meaning peace and compliance. Islam is a noun masdar in Arabic. The teaching of Islam includes that one can only find peace in one's life by submitting to the Almighty God, that is Allah in heart, soul, psyche, and deed. It is the name identifying the faith tradition and community of those who believe that there is one God and that the Prophet Muhammad were God's messenger. And the person who submits is a Muslim. The holy book of the Muslim is Quran, which guides the followers of the Islam in all dimensions to lead a healthy lifestyle. The holy book of Islam includes the Quran. The Quran affirms that with God, the din is all Islam. That is, with God, true religion is Islam. The identification of someone as a Muslim gave emphasis to being a member of the community of those who recognize the Quran as the record of God's revelation and Muhammad as the messenger of God, with less emphasis on the particular practices and behavior of the individual Muslim. Muslims view that God has trusted on their faith and has given them the body to use in the proper manner for the attainment of salvation. Substance abuse, smoking, or any other agent that can harm the body is strictly forbidden. Ablution before prayer is compulsory and includes rinsing of the hands, arms, face, and feet. Islam verifies human sexuality as a gift from God when it's enjoyed through the person's legitimate will. Sexual activities outside the marriage are considered to be derogatory in nature and are also believed to harm the body and his soul. Leading a healthy lifestyle is a religious obligation to mankind. Illness, on the other hand, is believed to be the trial by God. It is believed that the pricking of a finger will wash away all the sins of one's life if the individual can bear it with proper patience and piousness. Many Muslims believe that a jinn or invisible spirit may dwell in the body and cause sickness. The Muslims are of the opinion that for every illness there is a cure. It might not be present in the medical sphere, but praying for healing and seeking medical care leads one to regain their health. The Muslim followers follow different points related to health care in order to bring about quick healing. A Muslim patient, especially the woman, may request to cover her body with clothes during medical examination, as nudity is discouraged. The Muslims request for a strict diet in accordance with the religious laws. They mainly demand for halal food, though many Muslims even go in for vegetarianism. Muslims avoid alcohol-based stuff in the society. Muslims' use of alcohol-based hand rubs in the hospital is not undermined because they do not have an intoxicating effect but are used for potentially life-saving hygiene. Muslims request to wash themselves up with running water and not sponge bath, mainly before and after their meals. It is also before their prayer time that the followers of Islam request to go in for a wash in the running water. Muslim prayers are conducted 5 times a day. Patients may desire to pray by kneeling and bending to the floor, but Islamic tradition recognizes circumstances when this is not medically advisable. If patients are disturbed by their inability to pray on the floor, advice should be encouraged from an imam. A Muslim family member may possibly request to be present along with the dying person in order to be able to whisper a declaration of faith in the patient's ear right before his death. Muslims generally resist taking medications that are narcotic in nature or contain illicit substances like alcohol. Another highly appreciated and well-esteemed practice related to food is the abstinence from oral nourishment. This is also viewed as having healing properties by the Muslims. To support psychological and spiritual health and healing, it is widely promoted that reading and reciting the Quran showers blessings to those people who are spiritually and psychologically distraught. Thus, providing a copy of the Quran to Muslim patients is believed to be helpful in bringing in healing of the individuals in the society. Buddhism is one of the Asian spiritual traditions. It is one of the most flexible religions which is dynamic to the changing times but maintains its core values. The religion had its birth holding the hands of Siddhartha Gautama, who is known as the historical Buddha, who was born in North India in the 5th century BCE. After the death of Gautama, his teachings gradually made his followers to spread his teachings around the globe, thereby leading to the rise of the new religion, Buddhism. Buddhism provides a religious outlook which is based on the principles of humanity. It is the ancient civilization of China and India, but it has left its deep imprint on places like Sri Lanka, Burma, Thailand, Korea, Japan, and the countries of the Himalayas. Buddhism was founded around 500 BCE in northern India by Siddhartha Gautama, who later came to be known as the Buddha, which means awakened one. He had spent 45 years of his life teaching the way or path to overcome suffering in all its forms. The teachings of Buddha came to be known as Dharma. Before the death of Buddha, he made a group of followers who came to be known as Sangha. These three aspects, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, are known to all Buddhists as the three refugees or the three jewels. The 5 basic guidelines in Buddhism are as follows: to refrain from killing, especially human life, to refrain from taking that which is not given, to refrain from misuse of the senses and sexual misconduct, to refrain from lying or using false or harmful speech, to refrain from taking intoxicating drink or drugs which cloud the mind. The 4 noble truths contain the essence of Buddha's teachings: the truth of suffering, dukkha; the truth of origin of suffering, samudaya; the truth of the cessation of suffering, nirodha; the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga. Meditation is a coordinated mind-body performance and deliberate effort that helps in converting the mind. In Buddhism, meditation is observed as one of the processes of the Eightfold Path. All living beings are born with the mind and body in terms of Buddha. Buddhism does not believe in the existence of soul. Rather, they believe that the mind manages human behavior. The body devoid of the mind is considered as the dead body. Buddha has exposed that the mind is not everlasting, but it modifies each moment. One component of thought has 2 major elements: the citta, or consciousness, and the cetasika, the allied mental factors. This thought is explained in the Abhidharma. Most people are not conscious that the mind is more significant than the body, and that the body is manipulated by the mind. The psychosomatic diseases are caused by an impure mind. Rupa, or matter, according to Buddha, is shaped by 4 causes: is kamma, citta, uttu, and ahara. Kamma is the cetana, or intentions of past thought. Citta are present thoughts. Uttu is the climate, that is heat, and ahara is the nutrient in the food one takes. Outside matter is only caused by uttuja, or heat. Human bodies have matter which is formed out of all 4 causes, out of which 2 are based on the mind, that is kamaja and cittaja. This point to the meaning of controlling and developing the mind to have a hale and hearty body. The meaning of health relates to the ways of supervising health, including the ways to explore the causes of illness, the ways to be concerned for patients, or the ways to encourage health. Health is a state of wholly free from all anguish, that is nibbana. Lord Buddha said in the Magandiya Sutta that this is that health, this is that nibbana, or health is the highest gain, nibbana the highest bliss, and of ways the eightfold leads to deathlessness, to security. Illness is the outcome of karma, the law of cause and effect. Therefore, an unavoidable outcome of actions, either in this life or in one's previous life. Health is holistic in nature, that is, it connects between mind and body. Therefore, mental cures are important. Few Buddhists are of belief that a spiritually alert person will not become sick. If illness occurs in human body, then people are of the belief that a cure can be gained by thinking positively or using medicinal herbs. Few presume that if they will expose their body to harsh natural conditions, they are less likely to fall sick because their immune system will be braced up. In the Buddhist religion, too, different points regarding health care are followed, which are related to one's fast healing. They are: followers of Buddhism request for peace and quiet in order to carry out their process of meditation when they fall under any crisis. Buddhists may strict followers of vegetarianism, which turns out to be problematic, while medication of the patient when few medicines using animals. Non-pharmacological pain management options are often seen to be attractive to the followers of Buddhism. Patients many a time use a string of beads during prayer while they suffer from any pathology. Families sometimes place a picture of the Buddha in the room of the patient so that positive energy is spread in the room, thereby bringing in faster healing. They even request to burn incense or candles, as well as places flowers in the room so that the patient can heal faster from the pathology. Buddhism promotes Ayurveda as a source of alternative healing mechanism. Thus, Buddhism promotes a healthy lifestyle among its members by following meditation, which acts as a psychotherapy, praying, as well as giving to the poor and needy. Christianity is a system of belief among the Christians who maintains that God exists in three forms: Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is one of the most popular religions in the world, embraced by a large number of followers. The belief of the Christian is that Jesus Christ is the Son of the God, who came on this earth acting as the Messiah to the people of the world. Christianity is the religion of 1/3 of the people of the world and huge followers of its own. Christianity is mainly a Western phenomenon with its origin in the West. Despite this fact, one can witness the influence of Christianity over the world. Christian spirituality embarks on with the establishment of the stone of mysticism. It is the path that takes in union with God, the Almighty, the supreme importance of understanding and a thoughtful way of life. Traditionally, it can be seen that the church leaders preached the gospel, laid out its sacraments in front of the followers of Christianity. Creative as well as devotional life involves the Christians doing worship to the Lord, prayer in the name of the Lord, meditation as well as mindfulness. The spiritual practices involve a variety of tools such as mantras, gathas, yoga, tai chi, kirtan, and many more. Spiritual practices arise even from spiritual literature. The theological idiom of this is known as panentheism, which means everything in God and God in everything. Christian spiritual practices involve the use of other resources, such as books and music, to achieve complete devotion on the Lord. It has been found by empirical evidences that spiritual practices of the Christian leads to the enhancement of the creation of an individual, improvement in the sphere of health and healing, character, development of individuals, enrichment of relationship, civic virtues as well as mind training. All these helps to heal one faster from the condition he or she is suffering from. An old Greek proverb is of the belief that the body is the prison house of the soul. The modern Christians assign a different meaning to the word soul. According to the Bible, the body is the whole person, not a separable part of the person to be marked out in twofold method from the soul. The image of the soul projected by traditional philosophy is of a defined spark that is fenced in with the human body. The biblical image of the human soul is noticeably different, that is, it's God's gift. God has made man an innately good in the image of God, that is, with the aptitude to act, to formulate decisions, and go into relation with others. The Bible is thus of the view that health can be maintained properly if one refrains from committing any sin and make his body sinful. One must confess their sins and thereby pray for one's fast healing. Christians are of the belief that body is the temples of God. Therefore, we must care for them in its right way so that one can retain their proper health. The prime ways to do this is to ensure that the Homo sapiens eat at proper time interval, follow a healthy diet and stay away from poisons like alcohol, cigarettes and drugs. Philip Day, a researcher from UK, is of the view that many diseases such as cancer and heart disease are caused by nutritional deficiencies as well as increasing exposure to toxic substances in our food web. It is believed that God heeds to one's prayer in order to be healed, as well as if the individual follows all his commandments. Lord restores back not only the spiritual health but also the physical health of the individuals. Christians regard the human life as the gift from God. God is believed to be the prime source of healing. Therefore, it is a responsibility of the human beings to care for one's body from all harm and illnesses. The Christian patients too follow several points which is related to one's health care. Self-determination and informed consent is promoted while providing clinical help to a Christian. Truth-telling and confidentiality is another medical ethic that is followed in Christianity. Prayer for the well-being of an individual is promoted by each and every Christian. The concept of group prayer is largely promoted among the Christians as it is believed to bring about healing among the members. Sacraments and blessings by the father or the priest are regarded to be of central importance. It is mainly done before surgery or when a patient suffers from life risk. Patients many a time might request Holy Communion prior to surgery in order to bring about positive results and quick healing. Many patients might keep with them religious articles such as a rosary, a loop of beads with a crucifix used for prayer, a scapular, a small cloth devotional pendant, or a religious medal in the hope of their positive energy to bring about quick healing in them. Patients during certain occasions request for non-meat diets. These are mainly during the late winter time of Lent, that is the 40 days before the festival of Easter. Therefore, Christianity promotes health care and healing among the members by following the various medical ethics. Jainism is one of the oldest living religions. The term Jain means the follower of the Jainas, that is, spiritual victors, human teachers who attained omniscience, infinite awareness, understanding, and insight. The moral fabric of Jainism is based on non-violence. Jainism considers non-violence to be the most important virtue for an individual as well as for the society. Jains believe that, on a global scale, no good of an individual or society can be achieved through violence. Jainism believes in the peaceful coexistence of all living beings and teaches reverence to and respect for all life, and that all life has a unique place in the universe and has the right to exist. Jains are vegetarians and may have concerns and resistance about treatments involving animal-derived food and medications. However, individuals may make personal choices. There are different thoughts and ideas that are related to healthcare in Jainism. They are: birth and death are considered to be natural for the human being. Abortion is forbidden in Jainism. Jains are strict vegetarians who resist treatments which involve medication which are derived from animal turns. Use of contraception is not allowed by the Jains. Euthanasia is strictly forbidden in Jainism. In Jainism, the followers follow the practice of visiting the sick. This promotes emotional support to the diseased individual and helps him mentally to recover at a faster pace. Thus, the Jains have their own unique ways of providing healing to their followers in the society. I would thus like to sum up my lecture by saying that religious beliefs of the followers do create an impact on the healthcare decision of the patients. People who are suffering from any pathology, who are physically weak, who cannot do any work due to their diseased state of being, becomes mentally directed the religious path. They follow the religious rituals and practices in order to bring about healing. Healing practices through religion or spirituality depends on the faith of the individual. If the faith is not stronger, there can be no power in the world which can heal the person from within. Thank you.